In 1864, an artist named Edwin Landseer illustrated an oil painting named Man Proposes, God Disposes. It was inspired by a failed Arctic expedition led by Sir John Franklin, and which was declared lost in 1845. In addition to the interesting story, it also has some creepy hauntings tied to it. So to begin, I'm going to explain the history behind the painting itself and the urban legends and hauntings associated with it. Part 1. A brief history of Sir John Franklin's expedition to the Arctic. In 1845, Franklin left with a team of 120 men, including himself, to explore the North Pole on two ships, the Erebus and Terror, with enough supplies to last 3 years. In 1846, they became hopelessly stuck in the ice, which was abandoned 2 years later and eventually led to the men being declared missing. None were ever found alive. Many people have tried to find what is left, but almost all have come out empty-handed. The Canadian government has even resumed the search for the wreck, but so far it is still a mystery. Part 2. The legends and curses surrounding the painting. In 1864, an artist named Edwin Landseer illustrated this creepy painting with oil paints. The phrase "man proposes, but God disposes" is a translation of the Latin phrase "homo proponit, sed Deus disponit," from Book 1, Chapter 1, or Chapter 14 of the Imitation of Christ, a 15th century book by the German cleric Thomas à Kempis. The painting was sold at an auction in 1881 to Thomas Holloway. It still hangs in the Royal Holloway University of London to this day. However, every year around exams time, it is covered by a Union Jack. The legend says that the left polar bear's eye causes fear and terror and panic in those who look at it for too long. The painting is just creepy itself, giving off an unsettling and eerie aura. Many students at the university believe to some degree that it is haunted. The most notorious story told about the painting is from exams time around the 1920s to 30s. One student had a seat right next to the painting. They couldn't concentrate due to the polar bear's eye, which caused a sense of fear and panic in them. They asked if they could be moved or for the painting to be covered. The school refused, and the student had to stay in that desk near the uncovered painting. Some versions say that the student committed suicide shortly after they got home. Others say they did it right there in their seat. Exactly how they would do that in a school desk, I don't know. But one version states that the students stabbed themselves to death with a pencil and wrote "The polar bears made me do it" on their college paper or their exam paper. The college curator, Dr. Laura McCulloch, even said herself, if you sit in front of the painting, you will fail. Sometime in the 1970s, it was covered due to the distraction it posed. Part 3. Conclusion. In conclusion, the painting "Man Proposes, but God Disposes" is very possibly haunted. But if it is not, it is still very creepy and should remain covered during every exam, just in case. And the painting's name is "Man Proposes, God Disposes." "Man Proposes, but God Disposes" is like a phrase taken from the book, The Imitation of Christ. So that's where that came from. And the painting itself is called "Man Proposes, God Disposes."